builds
just for you, Jim.
anticipation.
Just for you, Jim. I'll press.
We decided not to go live today.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk mess about it.
Talk amongst ourselves. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
you people are
great.
here. Okay.
Oh no! Right now, just a word of warning. Jim is in the house, so
Have we got the sensor button ready?
I don't have the sensor button, but I'm pretty sure To can load it in the in the brand somewhere. How's it going, everyone? I'm home. I got home yesterday. You probably I
can't. I don't have permission.
Can't let it in. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. I think
That's
we've done that joke to death.
It's by design.
Yes.
Yeah. We've done that. We've done that joke to death. So, no, I arrived yesterday. I was just looking backstage when Jim asked. So the first flight was 15 and a half hours, and then the second flight was 3.5 hours. So what's that? 20 hours, something like that.
Too many
19.
hours.
Yeah.
Too many hours. Way too many hours.
Yeah.
18 hours
wow.
more than my butt could tolerate.
Yeah. We're talking about flying, right?
On an airplane. On an airplane.
There was a joke in there that I didn't want to say, but Hayden did it.
Yeah, no, I
Hayden
teed
got
that
it.
up,
It's
and I didn't
Hayden's-
mean to tee that up.
It's Hayden's stream. He can do that.
Yeah, I can say whatever I want, right? Some of the
Bloody
stuff
hell.
that was said in that Airbnb is some
gonna
of the
say,
things that
yeah.
we cannot repeat.
Some of the stuff that was said there.
But I had an amazing amount of fun. I will admit, though, halfway through when we were about 5 hours to go over the Pacific Ocean, I did wake up and I was like, the things I do for ham radio, honestly, this is just ridiculous. But
Yeah. I've said that
But
to
I
myself a couple times.
yeah, but no, I had an awesome amount of fun.
Hello, Craig.
And also thank you to Evan. Evan has just become a YouTube member. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Now I got to remember how to do this. I did stream at one point.
It's been a while.
I don't even know what that is.
Kyle, you've got some
You guys and your dancing, I just don't understand it.
You've got some great internet going on, by the way. You're at about 144p at the moment. It's
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in. Yeah. Kyle's internet's a little bit.
1981 called. They want their Betamax back. Son.
Please,
I'm
please copy.
on the
Upgrade
lap.
the speed.
No, that's as good as you're gonna get.
yeah.
Hey, you know, at least Starlink wins tonight.
Yeah. How has it? Starlink's been working pretty good for you, hasn't it?
It's okay for downloads. It doesn't seem to do live streams very well. I did my live stream on cellular internet the other day.
Okay. Oh,
That's
which one
been-
was that? Was that
that's been my
Nuggets?
experience too.
No, it was the Coffee and Ham radio stream on Saturday morning yesterday.
Oh, with Lon.
You just had a couple twitches. I mean, I think you froze a
Thursday.
couple times for. It wasn't bad.
I forget.
I'm on
I
Starlink
forget-
right now, so we'll see.
Just remember,
Are you?
I skipped the entirety of Saturday, Steve, so I can't remember what day it is. So,
Right.
how was Saturday, by the way? I heard it was pretty good.
It wasn't bad. I spent about 7 hours cleaning out my ham shack, and then I posted the video, and it was supposed to go today, but it's going tomorrow. Thank you, YouTube.
Right.
Upload take too long.
No, what I did was, if you go in at like 7 a.m. and you schedule a release, I was going to schedule it for 9 a.m. today. I was at 7 a.m. when I was trying to do this. It automatically defaults to tomorrow, and I forgot. And at like 2 p.m., I'm like, why isn't nobody commenting on my video today? I feel so lonely. What's going on? And it's like, nope, your video didn't release today.
Well, it always tries to go the next day though. I mean, like I schedule mine at like
Yeah, it
3:30
does.
in the afternoon. It always tries to put it to tomorrow, so you gotta catch that.
That's how
Yeah,
they
it's a
get you.
pain.
Yeah, you never want to schedule a release.
Second Amendment strong. There is a join button. I don't know where it would be. Somewhere that way.
It's right beneath Kyle.
Somewhere down there.
Right there.
Underneath Kyle. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
and
Dennis found it.
Speaking of which, thank you, Dennis.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Great moves, Jace.
I don't.
Hey, Are you
Jason,
drinking
don't
that
dance.
cherry stuff, or are you drinking normal? No, it's not Coke, is it?
It's Sundrop. I stole it from Kyle's car.
Oh.
This is just
Kyle's gonna be really mad.
It's just bubbly water.
We,
Dude,
we-
I have been home sick all week. I've been sick since like Tuesday. Had a bad.
You got the
cough.
Hamfest
And-
flu.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last year at
Bye,
this
Kyle.
time we all got
Sick up.
COVID, and I thought, and the symptoms I'm having this week are just different. So I'm like, I don't think I have COVID, but I took a test on Thursday. It was negative, and I don't know. I felt like crap all week, so I haven't really
You'll
done
probably
anything
hang-
this week at all.
It's the latitude
hanging
change,
around me too
man.
much.
I've had a cough since Hamfest.
Yeah. It's just a really bad cough. Like I can't even go to sleep at night. I'm coughing so bad. It comes and goes. Obviously, I'm not
Big
doing
Jim.
it right now, but
Yeah, that sounds something similar to what we had. So I apologize in advance if you got it from me.
oh,
But it was the same. It was the same thing. I thought that.
was the down under
I thought
COVID.
that we were going to have, like a lot of people getting COVID, but we were lucky we didn't get it, and I don't know anyone that got it.
I haven't heard of anyone getting COVID because there was a big COVID epidemic at Hamvention last year. Well, the week after anyway, and I had it for like 36 hours. So and it was gone. I was better 2 days later, but
Thanks, Craig.
Craig became a YouTube member. Kyle,
This is more dancing back than I ever did in the 80s when I was skinny and hot. So just saying.
You were skinny and hot.
Yes, I
18.
was.
Hang on.
Back in the day.
18.
You were young in the 80s?
Yeah, I was in my 20s.
So I don't know where Kyle's gone. Did Kyle put something in the chat? Rebooting laptop. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, we had an awful lot of fun on the. Well, it's already been more than a week. That's amazing. And here comes Adam. Adam is into the chat.
Adam,
Hey, Adam's using Kyle's laptop.
are you sharing the same internet?
Adam's
I
always
think
got. Adam's always
and your
got
mic-
questionable internet.
And your mic's not working either.
Negative, Batman.
No, you're
Adam uses those QRP internet speeds.
Yeah. If I can't do it
How
on
about now?
33.6, it ain't worth it. There you
That's
go.
better.
There you go.
yeah.
Okay.
What happened to that? Okay, he's back.
It's
I
funny
thought
how
maybe
when
he
you
has some kind
plug
of
in the
cooties.
USB, it actually works.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You do have to plug it. It's not wireless.
Did I was
it's
unpacking
not.
half unpacking the suitcase yesterday. Did anyone else get more from Hamvention than they expected, or is that just me?
This guy. I had zero expectations. I came home with a pocket full of stuff, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did the video, didn't you? I'm going to do a similar video that's going to show everything. It's all behind me on my bench. There's an amazing amount of stuff there, including this, which is just within reach.
Ah, look at that. Woo.
Product placement.
How much did it cost for you to fly all the way over here and get those and bring them back?
Actually, if you
$1
probably
million.
Actually, if you probably the amount of stuff that I've got there, if you actually calculate how much it costs in shipping, it probably is cheaper for me to come over and collect it. So
Right.
Once a year. I tell you what, I have a locker. You can just ship it all to me. I'll put it in a locker for you. You come visit once a year.
Right.
I'll give it all to you. You can take it back with you. I may or
like
may
a
not play with it.
it's like a permanent storage facility that isn't really secure.
/ video
Right.
video production idea facility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So while we've also got him in the house, hey Hayden, you and the boys got me into ham radio. Now I'm getting licensed. I'm 12. Fantastic.
Oh,
Excellent.
And I guess I guess you're in the US, so you could check out Ham Study and go for your test, do some tests there, and then book in a test with who I had just then. You could book in with
Glarg.
Glarg. You could book in with
Yep.
Glarg.
That's hamstudy.org. It's a free website where you can take practice tests and study. Good
The
stuff.
practice tests are excellent because that,
It's
then you got
actually
an
so-
idea if it's working for you.
And even because you had Lon Simon from Lon TV on your stream the other day, and you mentioned to him he didn't even realize you could take your test completely remote. So
I know. I was like,
do it all
wow.
online.
Well, when I took mine, it was pre-COVID, 2019, and mine was paper and snail mail. It took like 3 weeks to get my license.
Now it's almost instant.
Now I can fail the extra test immediately, and it's so much more efficient.
Right.
Let me know when you want to do that again.
Did anyone buy a radio that they didn't expect to buy? I did, and Adam says that he did. So-
Kyle,
Ad,
come on,
in
you
fact,
slacker.
Adam, let's see it. I know you've got that QMX built already, and that looks like it was done by
Did you buy
I
anything,
haven't
Kyle?
built
I can't
it yet.
remember.
You haven't built
Oh,
it.
no, you did. No, you did,
Yeah.
but you expected to buy it, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I bought the watt meter, the WA4 MCM watt meter. That's a kit. It's a 1500 watt meter, and then I also bought the Elecraft AX1.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh.
Very nice.
They actually had those in stock.
Yeah, I was
Hey,
surprised.
I did.
I bought an AX1 and 2 about 3 months ago, and I got them about 2 weeks before Hamvention. It took 3 months to ship them. So
Yeah, I went to the back and I'm like, hey, I want an AX1, and she's like, oh, let me go get it for you, and I'm like,
Nice.
bonus.
awesome.
Now, that's an amplifier.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
30,000 watt amplifier, Jim.
Sweet. You can get your breaker 19. This
That's
here's
right.
the rubber duck.
But
Go big
30,000
or go
watts.
home.
30,000 watts. That's on the input, right? That's not on the output.
Yeah, it's
Right,
it's
right. It's
actually
pretty
it's
inefficient.
30,000 freedom units in, and it
And
no,
it's
it's a Jim,
500 watts out.
yeah, it's an antenna, Jim.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's an antenna.
Okay.
I did have to laugh though when we were all standing in a circle and who's the guy from Josh's entourage with the beard? What's his name again? Levi, was it? Is
Alec.
it Levi? Alec. Apologies to whoever Levi is.
Not even close.
when
Yeah.
Was it him that he come up to you and he's like, I bought all this stuff from Flex and I bought this and that, and you're just standing there like, what? You just dropped like all this money on all this Flex stuff?
Yeah, he comes up and he goes, I just bought the PGXL, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, and he goes,
Jesus.
I got a really good deal on it. I'm like, what's a really good deal? And he was like, $6,700. And I'm like, yeah,
That's,
know.
Too rich for my blood.
yeah.
That is
I don't
good.
think
More
my
than my plane
Hey.
ticket.
if they swipe my credit card for $6,700, it'd be like, God, get out of here.
It'd smoke, right?
Deny.
Fraud alert.
Arrest this man immediately. He's an imposter.
Yeah.
That's
So
more on my
T-Ray
plane.
is
I
here.
did buy a QMX.
Yep.
I did
Oh,
buy.
you have a
There's a
cat?
lot
I
of
didn't know you had a
people
cat.
My plan. Oh yes, 2 of them. This is Shimmy, the Void with eyes.
Void.
But yeah,
Darkness.
I did pick up a QMX, and I plan to build it. I want to try to build it as a 40, 30, 20, 17, 15 meter rig, and it should be possible with the shared filters that are in there. It's got three output filters, and if you have bands that are close enough together, you can get them to work together. And Hans said he plans to come out with instructions and a strategy to build it as a high band version, 20 and up, and then the low band version, 80 through 20. But for a soda rig, what you really want is 40 through 15. That's kind of the the bread and butter sweet spot for everything from closer range to DX. So I plan to try to work out the parameters and turns and capacitors for the filters to make that happen. And then the other thing I wanted to share is the radio that I won as a door prize raffle in at 4 days in May. They have a door prize raffle, and my ticket was pulled for the final raffle item, and it's this 4 States QRP T41 5-band SDR transceiver kit that they sell. They're just starting to sell them. It's a design by Jack Purdom, W8TEE, and Al Peter, AC8GY. And they built this rig as a tool for people to learn how SDRs work. So it's a very modular kit. You build the sort of components of the rig on, I think, individual boards that you assemble. If you scroll down, you'll see the block diagram for it. And Jack also wrote a book about SDRs that kind of goes with this and helps explain how they work. So bottom line, I'm really looking forward to building this thing to help get a better understanding of how SDR transceivers work. It should be a cool project.
Nice.
That was a pretty impressive looking box that he had there. I mean,
Scroll back
you
up
have
to
it,
that-
Adam.
That picture, Adam, would you? So is this
I'm actually the one.
TO.
Sure.
This is
yeah,
this
there-
is TO.
is it, or TO? Is this surface mount stuff in there, or through hole, or mix and match?
You know what?
He doesn't have a
I'm
good
not
picture of the
sure.
internal on the website. Inside, it's individual boards, and then you plug them in the order that you're supposed to plug them into, so you can kind of figure out what's going on. And each, like this pink thing here, this peach color thing here, is one board. And this exciter module is another board, and the power amp is another board, and the filter is another board. It looks really super interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool setup, and it gives you, I think, an easier ability to say, oh, I want to modify the RF power amp section to make this a 100-watt rig. I want to step this, step my game up here, make this thing a bigger transmitter. So, and it gives you the ability to do that pretty easily inside the box.
Nice.
Thank you, N7MY8
Seamus.
for the $2.
Thank you, Seamus.
The music has ended.
Adam was
That's all
so
right.
into it. He dances like nobody's watching, man.
Yeah, that's right. So, half of my video, I did one video with Kyle, which was on the train, but a lot of you guys wouldn't have seen some of the sights that I saw because I did a little bit of B-roll, but I didn't do too much. And I thought that I could queue up some of that footage that you get along, because that was a lot of the questions I got. They were like, "Oh, what was it like traveling across America?" And if I don't do that, let me do this. I can show you this. This probably isn't a good start. This is probably. I think this is going across.
It's a cow pond.
Yeah, I think this
And
is
a ditch.
I think this is going across Nebraska, or no, not Nebraska. What's the next one? Iowa. So it wasn't really that too much to see.
No,
So
no, that's
let's
not Iowa. That's too big of a hill for Iowa.
Actually, that's true.
Right.
It might be California.
I think I
No,
just
let's
saw
go-
a Sasquatch out there. That might be Nebraska.
Let's go to something a little bit more impressive.
I think I just saw ape.
Could be.
Ape in the wild.
Well, I just told you, it wasn't
Ape or
Nebraska.
Sasquatch, hard to tell the two apart.
Right. They kind of look alike.
Here we go. There we go. So they were the mountains coming out of California, which were pretty impressive. And then we eventually got into some snow coming out of California, which was not really expected at all.
I always forget how far south Utah is. You spent a lot of time in Utah, too.
There was a lot of time in Utah. So we picked up a few. What are you laughing about? We picked up a lot of people in Utah as well.
Are they paying people, or do you just?
I mean, you run
Were
them
they,
over.
were they
did they
rail
just
rats? They're probably
jump
rail
on the
rats.
train, hobos or something.
So just after Salt Lake City, one of the train drivers comes on and he's like, so sorry, we are a little bit behind. We're 2.5 hours behind. We're trying to cut that back, he says, because we did have to arrest someone who got on the train illegally. And we're like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Right. Well, we didn't know. So apparently there was someone who was joyriding for free.
So those windows must be tinted pretty good, or that's a lot of yellow snow out there.
It's kind of dusty, yeah.
There is a funny yellow tint, yes, on the windows for some reason. Not quite sure why they do it, but you have to put your camera right up against the glass to get any kind of, no reflections. You can see there's some reflections in the in the windows there, but yeah,
I see crystal.
A bit of a yellow tint. There is a bit of a yellow tint.
Now, were you guys in regular seats, or did you have a sleeper car, or what? Because you were on that train for like 3 days, right?
Yeah, there was a sleeper car, which was big enough for the both of us, but they did have bigger bedrooms which you could go into. But I tell you what, traveling in coach for 2.5 days, no, thank you. That would have been, you know, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Worse than the airplane ride back to New Zealand.
Oh, it was close. It was close. And then we come across this little town, which is like in the middle of nowhere, called Truckee in Nevada, which was a cute little town, which we passed by. And again, the yellow...
Looks like my town.
Or Nevada.
It looks like it's straight out of a... It looks like it's... Is it California, did you say,
yeah.
Adam? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but just before we got into Nevada.
No
And,
rust.
It looks like it's... yeah. Looks like it's straight out of a movie, doesn't it? Or because of that tint on the window.
Yeah, it does. It's Hill Valley.
Yeah. A lot of hills.
Back to the Future reference.
I got it.
Tio, if you have to explain it,
Right.
I didn't know if it made the cultural leap over to Australia or not.
So then we got into Salt Lake City
Hey,
pretty
Zach.
early in the morning. And that was pretty stunning. So that was pretty early, and it's bigger than I thought. This place, this place is huge.
And you're riding right through the industrial park. I love it.
Yeah, so we got the best views, obviously.
The armpit of America.
They're not going to take it through the HOA.
New Jersey is the armpit of America.
Right.
I thought
To be fair.
all this week people were saying it was Illinois or it was or Chicago
No, those
or
are
something.
those are flyover states.
Ah,
You got the
right.
armpit, you got flyover states, and then you got California.
New Jersey's where they probably would stick the tube if they needed medical attention.
So, and we did fly, on the way back, Jason. We did fly over Texas, and I was waving, so I'm not sure if you saw or not.
I saw you. Yeah.
You did?
Where's
looks
this
like-
at?
It was like
Utah?
10
Southern
p.m.
Utah.
at night. Yeah. This was probably one of the most amazing places to go through here because you could see that river just in the background. The amount of whitewater rafters that were on there and the amount of people that mooned to the train were unbelievable too. It was like every second whitewater rafter, and eventually we got some running commentary that's a regular thing. So I was going to do it back the other way, but apparently you can't see in the windows very well.
So that big sandy looking thing is actually the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Is that the Colorado?
the refresh rate is causing it to not look like a river.
Yeah. Rivers here are like dark brown because of the tannin from the trees upstream.
And the tint on the window doesn't help either.
It
It didn't
looked
it
like a
didn't
dirt
quite look
road.
like that. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's
right.
the Colorado.
I think so. I wasn't really listening to the guy that
Yeah.
was telling us. So
It might.
Shame on
probably
you.
the Green River. That'd be
Green
my
River.
guess.
and then this is I think this is. I'm trying to think. I think this is.
Oh, that's awesome. How the rocks in the foreground are passing the rocks in the background at a different speed. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think
Triple
that was
triple
just
parallax.
before Denver.
Where they filmed Close Encounters right there.
Did you get any footage of Glenwood Canyon?
Where's Glenwood Canyon?
Glenwood Canyon starts just east of Grand Junction, and then goes all the way to almost Denver. That's the
Yes.
prettiest part of Colorado. This kind of looks like Glenwood Canyon, where you're hugging the Colorado River.
Yes, I think that's exactly where this is. This is
Yeah.
just coming in towards Denver just after Grand Junction. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we'd go along this river, and there'd be just like you'd be going for miles and miles with nothing, and all of a sudden there'd be this random guy just fishing at the side of the river. And
I
it's
think
like,
I
how
just
did you
saw a
get there?
deer running down there too, just a
Did you?
second or two back.
I did get a photo. I've obviously got heaps more photos and
Nice.
videos that I haven't taken off of my.
See,
off of
that's
my
beautiful
phone.
right there.
But
That's
there
great.
is I did get a picture of a wild bald eagle as well, so that was pretty cool.
Excellent.
There we go. There's a. Hang on, can I pause it? It's just a random picnic table with a house in the background. Like,
Yeah. Like, how do you get to that house?
I know it's surrounded by mountains.
I don't know that you want to
By
find
boat.
out.
By boat. Yeah. It's probably not somewhere you want to go on the weekend.
Right. You probably don't want visitors.
And this is Winter Park, which is just before you get towards the start of towards the in the Rocky Mountains, but before you get to the Moffat Tunnel. So on this side of the tunnel, it was perfect weather like this. The sun was out. It was a nice afternoon. We got through the other side of the tunnel, which takes you 10 minutes to get through, and it was raining and misty, and you couldn't see any views at all. It was like two completely different worlds, just separated by 10 minutes. So,
And the
quite amazing.
Moffat Tunnel is the Continental Divide, right?
yeah, yep. So we went underneath that, through the mountain, and it's quite disconcerting when you get halfway through and he tells you just how much rock is above you. So, yeah, pretty. But I've got to get a lot more footage off of my cameras and phones and stuff.
And you're going to drop a video with all that on it, something like that?
Yeah, I could do.
My car
Not sure
broke
if there's
down in
that many
Winter
that'd
Park
be
one
interested,
time.
but
That's how I know where Winter Park's at.
it's a nice place. It's a nice looking place. Like you wouldn't want to stay there too long, but it is a nice spot. So that was part of the trip on the Amtrak, which, funny enough, across the whole country was only delayed by an hour. So we thought that was a pretty good effort.
I mean, you could drive from where'd you start? San Francisco, and go to Chicago, and you would probably be later than an hour and a half or an hour by car. I mean, considering that you did that on our rail system, which I think is, I've frequented the rail system just from St. Louis to Chicago, and we've been delayed by 3 hours. So
it's obviously quicker by train too, because we can sleep while it's moving, whereas you can't really do that when you're driving. So
Yeah.
well, you can, but
Not long
it's
term,
recommended.
right? Yeah.
No. No, yeah.
Yeah,
So it looks like we've-
the only train trip I've taken is up the coast from San Diego up to like Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo area, just north of Santa Barbara. And to drive that, you have to go through LA, which just it makes the driving part of it awful. But the train, for a significant portion of that, just goes right along the coast, and it's really a pretty gorgeous ride up the coast. Awesome scenery and just the easy trip.
My wife and I have talked about doing, I think is there one that goes up the PCH or basically starts in, I don't know if it starts in San Diego or LA, but I think it goes all the way to like Seattle almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
I
is
think
one.
I want to say it goes inland after Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, but I could be wrong. I don't think it follows the coast up to like Monterey. I think it goes inland from there.
We did that drive probably about 10 years ago, and we started in Napa and drove up through this is my gun store in California story. You guys have heard me tell before, but we went all the way through Northern California and stayed in Ferndale, and then we stayed in Yachats, Oregon the next night, and they said that was the westernmost point on the continental United States. There's not any point farther west into the Pacific Ocean from there. So, but that was a really fun drive, and we were talking about doing that again, and I made mention to the wife the other day. I was like, there's a lot of POTA spots along. POTA wasn't a thing back then when we did that last time. And she's like, oh, would you want to do that? I'm like, well, yeah. Would you want to do that? And she's like, let's do it. So, talk about doing a POTA trip up the PCH in a year or two. I don't know.
So the red ones are the Amtrak routes. So yeah, all the way.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so if-
I mean, it's not on the coast, but it does go through those states, though.
Yeah, so you can see down in the southwest there from San Diego to San Luis Obispo, it's along the coast for a good chunk of that, and it's a really pretty ride. And that last section from Santa Barbara to San Luis Obispo, you actually go across Vandenberg. It's I guess Space Force base now, so it's just like this untouched
Space
other
Force.
than a bunch of missile silos scattered about, untouched nature preserve out there with Minuteman missiles buried in the ground.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, so the network is pretty extensive. So I think
There needs to be more north-south out in the west, though.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Amtrak is somehow based in Chicago because it seems like all roads lead to Chicago. on the
Right.
map.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big
So
problems with Amtrak, though, is that if you're trying to go, like, I live near Minneapolis, St. Paul, which has an Amtrak station. And if I want to go to California, it doesn't give you the ability to take MSP, Minneapolis, St. Paul, down to Chicago and then over to California. It's like they don't understand how their connections work. It just says you can't get there from here. And I'm like, but you can.
But you can.
I'm willing to do it, you know?
I'll try and bring up my photos. I had a photo of what it looked like in Union Station in Chicago. That was a pretty impressive building.
Yeah, in there.
But but everything, all roads lead to, all tracks lead to Chicago.
Chicago.
And they're all called Union Station, too, which I think is great.
Everybody calls them.
Yeah.
Well, New York is what, Grand Central Station.
Grand Central
Penn.
Station.
Penn.
Well, where's
Penn.
So there's a Penn. Is there also a Grand Central?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's two.
Grand Central Station's in New York. I don't know if it's Amtrak or not, but it's in New York.
Yeah, that's where the intro of David Letterman was. Remember that's
Right.
the scene. Yep. So there's two in New York City, in Manhattan.
Speaking of Dave Letterman, was he ever a ham? Because I keep hearing things that he was and
No.
then he wasn't, and he
He's
wasn't.
not. No.
No, the guy who was this famous CW operator went silent key last week. Who was on Letterman
Chip.
one time doing
Yeah.
Morse code. I got 2 or 3 emails about it. Not a name I recognized, unfortunately, but
W7IA, I think, was the call.
I
Is
think
that
that's
right?
Yeah, I think that's right. So, but good. Glad that I was copied on an email with that because that was kind of a neat story to go back and read. But
Yeah, Letterman wasn't a ham. I did my research when I was doing trivia because I had heard that too. But
K7JA.
case 7, okay.
Because I know there was a young girl. She was like 12 or 13 who was a ham that was on the Letterman show, and she was using ham radio. But yeah, I had always heard that he was, but obviously not then.
But now, Tim, oh man, the comedian, and had a couple shows. He was on
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, Tool Time Timmy.
Yeah,
A small-time comedian. You probably never heard of him.
Right? Yeah.
he's a
Yeah, he was
he's
on
a ham.
Last Man
Yep.
Standing, and then
Yeah.
whatever the other show was, Home Improvement.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Jim
he
Jim doesn't know the story, does he, T.O.?
No, he doesn't. So Last Man Standing had Jet Juergensmeyer, and you had Jet Juergensmeyer on your show for an interview.
Actually, I asked him if he was going to come to Hamvention because he came to Hamvention in 2018, I think, or 2019, just before COVID. But no, he wasn't. He wasn't coming to.
I think it was 2019 because I remember seeing him there.
Yeah. See, that would have been a massive surprise, Kyle. You should have got Tim Allen to come to Hamvention and stay in the Airbnb with us. That would have been cool.
well, I mean, I was pressing my luck just getting you over there. Like I don't.
One
have
celebrity
that
at a time.
Right.
Well,
I don't have
I
that
think
kind of
next year
power.
we need to shoot for Joe Walsh. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I know Bob Heil. Heil knows Walsh. Maybe we can do it.
Let's make it happen.
The 7 degrees of Kevin. I mean,
Kevin Bacon.
Right.
I mean Bob Heil.
7 degrees of
Right.
Bob Heil.
Bob Howell needs to turn up himself, though. He wasn't there this year. He was at even Gordo wasn't there. I was hoping to meet Gordo.
I was shocked by the number of Ham Nation people that were not at Hamvention this year. But
well, none of them
Josh was the only one.
Yeah, I know. Well, Joe was.
Jason, I think you're taller than Bob Heil, aren't you?
We're about the same height. I've met Bob Heil a couple times.
Yeah,
we're about the same height, I think.
He looks so much taller on YouTube.
Yeah, I've never heard that before in my life.
I gotta say, I think Jason's
I was talking about Bob.
Jason's clothing choices are better on the eyes than Bob's. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you for that. I
that purple outfit he was wearing, I'm like, oh my god.
He has a reason for that purple, and he says it's online, but I haven't found it, and I don't know what the reason is.
On the side, I mean,
I asked him. He's like, it's online.
Yeah. So the reason. Go ahead. Do you know the reason, Jason?
No. Go ahead. No, I don't. I have a guess, but no, I don't think I know it.
I think I know what it is. He used to play at the Fox Theater here in St. Louis, and purple. It's either one or two things. Purple was like the Grateful Dead's favorite color, or he had to wear purple at the Fox Theater whenever he was playing organ at the Fox. It's either one of those. So people can go correct me.
I thought it had something to do with the Grateful Dead. But
yeah, it's either one of those two. I can't remember. Yeah. And then he's like, it's online, and then you go and search it, and you can't find it. So
no, you can't find it. I looked.
There he is.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Bob is an awesome guy, though.
Yeah, that was timed perfectly, by the way.
If you ever have a question about ham radio or microphones or AM radio, Bob will drop everything he's doing and talk to you about it. He will. Him and Gordo, those two are both like ambassadors of ham radio, and I really honestly aspire to be as happy and outgoing and providing of information as those two are.
Totally. Absolutely.
Gordo's just got this energy that just doesn't stop. Like you can't switch him off. Like he's
just like that. You call him on the phone on a Tuesday morning. He's like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's great.
I don't think I'd be able to have that much energy.
Oh, Joseph found it. Joseph, I need some more information. Join us on the Discord and share a link for me so I can see what's going on.
Drop the deets, son. Drop the deets.
Yeah. Just to answer a question a couple of questions before ham radio pen pals. So, how much was the ticket? By the time we figured out how much it was going to cost for airfares for two people, plus accommodation for 2 nights, it ended up being around about the same as if we were to fly. So I think for a room, it was about $1,000 for two nights to travel across the country. So, you kind of work it out and it's about the same. So that was the prices fluctuate up and down depending on how far you book in advance, and they've also got other specials and deals and stuff like that. And Second Amendment has asked a few times, talking about any good ham radio base stations for the USA, but I think a few other people have answered that in the chat. So
I got the purple story.
You got the purple story?
Yeah, so it's not as glamorous as you think. It's basically a marketing. Everything was black and white in the microphone business, and he needed something to stand out, so he chose purple.
I mean, he could be a Prince fan. Huge.
Yeah. I was going to say nobody else chose purple in the recording industry ever.
Right. Well, I think Bob was a little bit before Prince, but whatever.
You think?
Well, I've got the Bob Heil branding going on in my background, so look at that. That's
right.
Yes.
I thought ahead.
I confused both of you.
Sorry, what?
So does Callum. Doesn't he have purple lights in his background?
Yeah, he does mix it up a little bit. What? I've always been confused actually about your background, Jason. Is that real or is that a green screen? Oh, that's that one board. That's that one board that you've got in the background.
It's the one in front of the green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth move, Jason. That's excellent.
Didn't
be
you
careful?
have
Don't jiggle it.
Yeah. Didn't you
just
have
reach over and pull the green screen across? It's still there.
That silver play button is fake. It's not. It's
right,
photoshopped in.
Yeah, it's fake. Yeah. No, that's
thought
I
that
have,
you,
I have a green screen over there. I haven't used it in a long time. I kind of got to where
It'd be awesome if you pulled the green screen across and it was just a copy of a photo of what you're sitting in front of. It is.
I actually do have that photo. As a green screen background. No, you talked about Sean Cannell at one point, Hayden, and he doesn't like green screens. And I kind of took his advice like a year and a half ago. And depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing a microphone facing down kit build or something, then I'll green screen myself so that I can kind of overlay myself on top of it. But if it's just something like today, I tend to not use the green screen anymore. So,
speaking of green screens,
yeah, there you go.
I have too many classified projects back here. Y'all will never see all that.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
Actually, I'm just too much of a slob. I don't want y'all to see that. That's the true statement.
That's the truth of it. Yeah.
Way too cluttered back there.
Yeah.
Wasn't it on Nuggets? You had your cat, which was hovering in the background. As
Well,
That
if
was,
the cat, if there's a couple of the cats that will sit on the back of the chair, which is a green screen chair.
Yeah.
So they'll sit on the back of the chair, and there'll be a flying cat behind me.
What is a green screen chair?
It's just a cover. It's just a cover.
It's a slip cover,
chair.
like your grandma had.
It's like $14 on Amazon. It's chroma key green. Slide it over my crappy looking office chair, which still sits very comfortably. And boom, now nobody can see it, and my wife doesn't fuss at me about having an ugly chair on the screen. So
Pixie's back.
Pixie's back. I just got done camping, so she's pooped
You
from.
just shove Pixie down. Get off. Camera.
No, it's my show. You're
like
not the star here.
She's like a wet rag. I mean, she's so tired that she's like anywhere you plop her, she's just like.
It would have been good if you could have brought Pixie to Hamvention, but anyway.
Oh my god, it would have been chaos.
She and Electra could have run around, kept each other company.
Electra would have.
That's what you need to do. Bring Pixie and drop her off at Jason's trailer.
Yeah.
She would get depending on how Pixie is. Electra, we bring in foster dogs all the time of various sizes.
yeah,
And
I thought you
Electra
fostered.
Electra's mama dog to all of them, so it doesn't matter what size dog.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she gets along with all dogs.
Yeah.
She likes big dogs. Little dogs, like she's like, what are you doing? Like you want to play big dogs, and then she's fine with dogs.
Yeah.
So, what's your cat doing, Adam? He was pushing your mic up just a minute ago. What's your cat's name?
Yes. This is Shimmy.
Shimmy.
She's a Bombay, so she's black with yellow eyes, and we refer to her as the potato because she's potato shaped, or as the void because she's black, and if she's in a dark place, you can't see her.
Right. That's good.
Nice.
So what's
Black cats are the best.
Hayden? I don't mean to take over the stream, but what cool things did you do in San Fran and Chicago that like really were neat?
Well, actually, no. I've got some photos here. Let me bring up the photos that I pre-prepared earlier.
Hayden, I think I'm going to drop because I got to prepare for my stream here in about 15 minutes. So
actually, yeah. Before you do go, Jason, let's just put a plug in for that. So coming up after this stream, straight after is the happy hour. So go catch that on Ham Radio 2.0, and we'll see you over there.
Yeah, and all you guys on the StreamYard right now are welcome to join us for. You don't have to stay for the whole thing if you don't want to. So, but yeah, thanks for Hayden. Seriously, dude, it was freaking awesome to get to hang with you last weekend. So I hope that we're able to do that again someday. But if we're not, at least we got to it at one point in life. Before
Hey, if
we need to start a
someone wants
fundraiser.
I was going to say, if someone wants to pay for me to come out, because it costs a bit of money to come.
We should
over.
totally do that. I mean, we should totally do that. You know, so we've got plenty of time to talk about
Foster a poor Australian ham so he can come to.
It's Hayden's Make a Wish.
Foster a poor YouTuber that apparently earns like lots and lots of money because
I'm going to go on late night TV, or we'll
like
get Sally Struthers, and she'll this is Hayden.
You have to do it as like a GoFundMe so that the audience can join in.
Right.
And then you really get mobbed because everyone knows you're going to be there, Hayden. So then you really get mobbed at Hamvention.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for
see you, Jason.
me. I'll see you.
See you, Jason.
So I guess to start off because we obviously we landed in San Francisco, so that was the first place that we landed at. And
Did you take an Uber from the airport to your hotel in San Fran?
Yes.
And that was the first time that you had gotten in a car that drove on the other side of the road.
Yeah,
The correct side of the road.
I was more.
It wasn't my
I knew
driving that was scary.
I knew that I had prepared, and I knew that I should get what side of the road, what side of the car I should get into. It didn't matter anyway because I got into the back, so it doesn't really matter what side you sit. But driving in from the airport to the Uber, these are literally the first 2 photos that I took. This is the first photo of America that I have.
Awesome. Tell me you're a ham without telling me you're a ham.
And then this is the second one, which is Mount Sutro, which is the massive. I'm like, what the hell's that used for? So
everything.
First 2.
That's the cloud seeding antenna.
So that was the first 2 photos. We'll show you some more photos after we say thank you to Tim for the $19.99. Oh dear,
I got you. Look at Kyle. He's doing like some kind of new wave dance up there.
Let me leave you swinging.
We've got 2
Missouri
soundboards
dance.
going. We've got 2 soundboards going, by the way. Oh, and I read an article today. Wendy's is coming to Australia. We're not getting Chick-fil-A, but we're getting Wendy's. So,
I'm sorry.
I know. That was
Hey,
really
Robert.
good. Hey, Robert.
What was
how are
your what? So we went to Wendy's for you, which I'm fine. I haven't been there in a while. What was your official impression of Wendy's?
Not as good as Chick-fil-A. Wendy's was okay.
Not really the
Like
same jam. Chick-fil-A just that's the Lord's chicken, son. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Wendy's. It's going to be interesting too because Dennis, finally a Wendy's in Australia, but it's going to be interesting to see how they compete with the actual Wendy's that's already here, and they do donuts and hot dogs and stuff. So I don't know what's gonna, I don't know what's going to happen there. We also went to In-N-Out. So we went there.
Did you get
I've never
animal
been
style?
one of those.
Animal style.
Yes. Yep. And there was some big lads in In-N-Out, by the way. they were enjoying.
There's no skinny people.
Absolute
that go to
units.
Right. And then we went to the Lombard Street. So that
Of course
was
you did.
You took a
then we-
picture of people having their picture taken.
What's going on over here?
I know her. We used to date. It's a long story. It didn't end well.
Those
Like,
do not look
this
like
is
Americans.
She looks crazy.
For
I'm
those
just
that
gonna
don't
say.
know, for those
It
that
didn't
don't
end
know,
well.
That's crazy.
this is an actual road. So cars come along here, and there's like all these people standing in the road taking photos. So
Yeah.
including me. So we went there. I'm closing my window down because I don't know what the next photo is in the thing. So we just want to make sure that we don't bring up anything that we don't want to. That's a bit untoward. This was a highlight though.
Untoward.
This was a highlight though. Riding.
Oh,
across
that's
the
where that
Golden Gate
Klingon ship
Bridge.
crashed.
Yeah, but they hid that. They hid it.
Now,
This is
There
also
be whales here.
what bridge
Godzilla
is
went
that,
through
Hayden?
there as well. The Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
That
You
was a
didn't
serious
recognize it,
question?
Kyle?
What?
It might be the Bay Bridge, but I'm not quite sure. I think the Bay Bridge is a different color.
Yeah, I think.
Did you go to
okay.
Alcatraz? I would want to visit Alcatraz.
We did go to Alcatraz.
Isn't Alcatraz a POTA entity?
Alcatraz is, and I was going to activate it, but the amount of people that were on Alcatraz was ridiculous. Like, it was just like all the time. Like there was just so many tourists, bloody tourists.
Like you?
Especially
Well,
those Ferners. Ferners. Look at that.
So yeah, lots and lots of people. Lots and lots of people on Alcatraz. Nice view though, back to the city.
It's funny people want to visit a prison.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Who'd have ever thought?
There's
You
there's
wouldn't wanna
easier
be in
ways
there,
to
I can
visit
tell
a
you.
prison.
Yeah.
And cheaper.
Comes with free meals.
Oh, and then we did the
And
painted
recess.
ladies. Well, I did the whole.
Hey, I saw
yeah,
that TV show.
Yeah, one of those is the Full House, or somewhere around there is the Full House house,
Right.
right?
Yeah, started walking down towards Mrs. Doubtfire's house, which is further down the road, but then decided that it was too far and couldn't be bothered anymore. So, but yeah, that was the Full House ones. What else in San Fran? Oh, we did the baseball. We went to a Giants game. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Did they win?
This is what. No, they sucked. They were useless. They didn't. They only. I think they hit one home run. I think it was like 14-1.
That's not a cricket pitch.
No, it's not. But we got good seats, and the thing that amazed me is that I was like, it cost me, I think, $10 to get in, and then I realised why, because you spend all of your money out the back on the food and the merchandise.
On the food.
Yep.
There's not a very big crowd there either. Of course, that would look like, was that an afternoon game?
Yeah, so this was about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so there wasn't that many people there. So we were going to go to a Cubs game in Chicago, but then we decided against it. So
I think Chuck did. Chuck and Kathy.
Chuck did. Yep.
You weren't missing out.
So there's me photoshopped into out the front of Oracle Park. So that was a great experience. Baseball's very much like watching Test cricket, except with different rules. Very stop-start. So that was San Francisco.
Yeah, the new rule is it's a lot faster now.
I didn't load my Chicago photos on here, but I did load the Air Force Museum once. Here's Sterling pointing out Boeing. And we just got some photos in here. This was pretty cool. The first shot fired from an airplane. I thought that was very American.
Boom. Gun pitch. That's us.
Yeah,
and
then there's the machine gun.
Yeah.
First cannon. First, yeah.
They had to work on the timing on that whole machine gun thing. That could have been awkward.
First bombing.
I think because we've only got like 10 minutes left, it takes ages to go through all of this. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a video on the whole trip and some of these other photos, because there's a whole bunch of photos that I haven't taken off yet.
Hey, I know that guy.
That guy's kind of sketchy.
What'd you say about my mother?
No, that's Sterling he was talking about.
Oh.
So yeah, and then these drones. This is all at the Air Force Museum. This was
They're
after
huge.
Hamvention.
Is that a Global Hawk or a Reaper? Do you remember?
It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
when
were
they said
two. There was one
drones-
right next to it. That one.
When they said drones, when the military started using those, I never pictured anything that big until I saw one, and I'm like, holy crap!
There's
FA-18,
yeah,
I said J-35.
F-22.
F-22.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
The Air Force. Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
go
wouldn't
back
have an
and-
18 at the Air Force Museum.
So, and I'm going to go back and read all of these because we went through there real quick. So I
Right.
just took
We
photos
did.
of the science. So, and there's a scale. There's a scale with Kyle. Kyle
That's
is the
a
scale.
B-36.
That's me for reference. See how big I am compared to the airplane?
That is a
You're-
big head on you, Kyle. Yes.
So there was all sorts of
B2.
stuff in here.
Yeah,
I'm try-
and hey, Hayden, go back. We went into this room, and there's like random 5 cars in the Air Force Museum. And you're just like,
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah.
on here?
We didn't even bother to go over and find out why either. We just were like, what? And then we got to the thermonuclear bomb, and Sterling looks at it, and Sterling's like, why do we make things so big? And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, the size of the warhead or the atom's probably like this. And he's like, well, look at the size of this thing. And then I just went, yeah, I don't know. And he goes, America.
That's right.
It's like, okay,
Texas.
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 And then we went to the missile silo. That was pretty cool. These things were the Peacekeeper. That was pretty big.
You need a big missile to keep the peace.
Yeah, just the look of it. And
45
then
said
we,
those might be chase cars for the space shuttle.
And then we got to the Air Force One. This was Kennedy's Air Force. Well, no, this wasn't just Kennedy's Air Force One. This was like Air Force One for like 8 presidents or something, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
heaps.
Yeah.
So that was
All the way up
pretty
to
cool.
like Reagan, I think.
And then we got to, let me just Here we go. This was Was this the small one? I think this was the first one. That was the cockpit and the radio.
Where the radio was modified for SSB.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, I think Bush, the first Bush, got a new plane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they
No.
moved him from a 707 up to a 747 because
Yeah, I
that's
think
what that plane
Oh,
was
no,
a
it's Clinton.
707.
No. It was,
wow.
it was W. Yeah. So that it said that George W was the one that commissioned the 747s, and these were the ones that
gotcha.
were on these ones. So yeah. So there you go.
Wow.
Quite interesting. And not a lot of room in there either. Like they've got these glass perspex panels. So Tio was struggling to get through there.
I had a lot of bump factor hitting my head the whole way through.
Yeah. And then they had the radio system in there too.
That is in Kennedy's Air Force One. They had the decryption
Yes.
keys. They had 2 complete stations. They had oscilloscopes. It was a pretty impressive layout. I liked it. I want that for my ham shack.
Wouldn't that? Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Wouldn't that make a awesome?
So Steve says about Johnson. Yes. So that was here, and it was like literally in this area here. We were like, how is there room for all of these people? Like
They took out the panels. Yeah.
It was shot
LBJ.
it was shot on a GoPro with a wide lens.
Yeah.
yeah. So and then we met these people. These guys, they didn't talk much to us. It was a bit. They didn't really want to say too much.
They were
big
kind of
dummies.
stiff.
C-130. Yeah.
Big dummies.
It's a good thing they didn't have anything to say. They're kind of stiff.
So anyway, that was a quick run through. Oh, and then we did see this. I think this might have been after you left, Kyle. This was the Apollo 15, I think.
Oh, nice.
And like you could go like look at the here we go, this picture. Look at the burn marks like on the bottom of the capsule. Was pretty neat to see.
Smoker's ring.
Have you ever looked
Right.
inside one of those? Have you ever looked inside one of those capsules?
No, we couldn't go in. So you
Yeah.
couldn't get inside this.
Just imagine you were talking about the flight, right, on the airplane,
Yep.
or you couldn't stand 3 days in coach on a plane on a train. Yeah, there's 3 guys in there sitting in suits, peeing in their suits, and they have enough room to maybe lift a butt cheek. That's about it.
And they're
for
all
a
talking.
couple days.
Hey, I'm peeing right now.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's sharing everything. Dude, what did you eat? The same thing you ate, Chief.
Well, that's how Swagger got the clap, right?
That's it.
Yeah. We need
And that
we need
flight
more
back
than
is like 2.5 days long.
we need more than an hour to go through all of the stuff that I did. So I think what I'll do is I'll make it into a video and then release it at some point. But anyway, that's the quick wrap up. And thanks guys for joining. It was great to meet you all. And in a couple of minutes we're going to be going over to the happy hour on Jason's stream where we'll probably be talking more on there. So
Links in the chat.
yeah, so good stuff, guys. Thank you very much for joining in, and we'll
Thank you.
see you over there.
It was great meeting you. We're going to get you back next year, son.
Yeah, well, I'm actually. So one of the things I was going to do is I was going to do a video on, not just where we went and everything, but the cost of it all because it was a lot. And
I can't even
it's-
imagine.
And it's more too because I want more people from places outside of the US to experience Hamvention because it is absolutely amazing, and also the places that I went along the way. Because like you guys, you know, some of you have been to Hamvention lots of times, but I already knew, like even speaking to Kyle and Tio and a few others, even though you've been once before, it's still amazing every time you go, right? It's
Yeah.
just
That's why we go back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was
you
my
can't see it
that
all
was
in one
my
shot.
First one. I'll be going back.
yeah. All right, the happy hour's starting. I'll see you guys over there.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.